Welcome to the presentation of Chapter 17 from the DevOps Handbook. This week we'll be discussing hypothesis-driven development, the history of A/B testing, integrating A/B testing into our feature testing, releases, and feature planning, a case study of Yahoo Answers, and the metrics used for Yahoo Answers. Hypothesis-driven development involves projecting what features customers may want or need and experimenting to see if they actually provide any additional value. When products and features are developed that nobody wants, it becomes a huge waste of time and money. The goal of the experiments is to save on both of those by being cheap and fast while determining if the new feature will achieve the desired outcome. Ensuring that experiment participation is authentic takes emphasis over what management wants. By allowing developers to quickly and safely deploy their experimental changes, especially during high traffic periods, it will allow them to constantly improve their services and keep up with their competition. Intuit is a good example of this. Previously, they would perform 7 experiments a year on their TurboTax website. However, after adopting the culture of innovation, they now perform 165 experiments every quarter. A/B testing, part of the direct response marketing strategy, is a very powerful research technique. It allows companies to experiment by making small changes in their offerings. Before the internet era, companies had to deal with mailing lists and print material. It would take weeks or even months before they could get results back for both their control and treatment groups. The experiments would often include making changes to what is presented or how it appears in order to determine if it would increase customer interest rates. Changes could involve modifying what the offer is, how it is worded, the color, size, or style of the font, and the overall layout, and more. For example, the postcards on the right are 2 different designs for the same offer. A/B testing is often used with user experience changes online. Users may be prompted to choose between 2 experiences when connecting to a site. The analytics gathered for the 2 demonstrate if there is any significant difference in customer interaction. Such data is then used to determine if a causal link exists between the 2 groups, such as a specific change leading to a certain outcome. For example, the image on the right shows different sizes and colors of the boxes for different services, rather than all of them being the same. Analytics will then show if the change has made a positive impact or not. According to Ronnie Kohavi, General Manager of Analysis and Experimentation Group at Microsoft, only about 1/3 of the experiments result in significant improvement. Time spent on building features that provide no value is time that could have been used to build ones that would provide value. Thus, performing customer research is essential to creating features that users will like and use.
Frequent and efficient A/B testing is possible through, first, quick and easy deployment on demand, which is made possible by feature toggles and potentially delivering multiple versions of the code simultaneously to customer segments. By hooking into feature toggles, the percentage of customers using an experimental feature can be controlled. Ultimately, telemetry on the new feature is produced. Once A/B feature release and testing are supported, each feature must be thought of as a hypothesis, with production releases being the experiments to test them. The overall approach should be designed in the context of the overall customer acquisition funnel. Barry O'Reilly, co-author of Lean Enterprise: How High-Performance Organizations Innovate at Scale, outlined how to frame hypotheses in feature development. Here is that framework at work for a hotel booking site. We believe that increasing the size of hotel images on the booking page will result in improved customer engagement and conversion. We will have confidence to proceed when we see a 5% increase in customers who review hotel images who then proceed to book in 48 hours. Let's take a look at the case study of Yahoo Answers. At the time of the case study, Yahoo Answers had approximately 140 million monthly visitors and over 20 million active users answering questions in over 20 languages. However, user growth and revenue had flattened, while user engagement scores were declining. They found that if new feature experiments were not performed frequently, as in daily or even weekly, the focus of daily work was on the feature as opposed to customer outcomes. They moved to weekly deployments and saw a 72% increase of monthly visits, 3 times user engagement, and 2 times revenue. Ultimately, they doubled revenue growth through fast release cycle experimentation. To continue their success, they focused on optimized metrics. The top metrics were time to first answer. How quickly was an answer posted to a user question? Time to best answer. How quickly did the community award the best answer? Upvotes per answer. How many times was an answer upvoted by the user community? Answers per week per person. How many answers were users creating? Second search rate. How often did visitors have to search again to get an answer? Lower is better. It was exactly the learning they needed to win in the marketplace, and it changed not only their feature velocity, but it changed the team from employees to owners via their investment level raising proportionally to working speed. In conclusion, hypothesis-driven development involves projecting what features customers may want or need and experimenting to see if they do provide any additional value. We covered a brief history of A/B testing as well as integrating A/B testing into feature testing and release, which calls for on-demand deployment via feature toggles and multiple versions of code simultaneously delivered to customer segments, the proportions of which are controlled by hooking into the feature toggles, all of which leads to vital telemetry production. We looked at these principles in action at Yahoo Answers and how it led to the team there becoming a team of owners rather than employees via their investment in the daily work.